All right, everyone, pretty soon we have the Republican and Democratic national conventions. Yes, where Donald Trump will be minted as the Republican nominee. Now that he's got Nikki Haley climbing back off board and officially releasing her delegates, there is no competition. There never really was, but that sort of seals the deal. That's the final nail in the coffin of the TDS sufferers for the GOP. Meanwhile, Joe Biden will be nominee. He is saying that he is staying in. He is not willing to stand down. I don't blame him either. I'm like, if I were Joe Biden, if I cared about the party, and he is a partisan, I'm looking at all the other people that potentially could run, and the detriment, by the way, to me dropping, because they can't win Wisconsin, they can't win Nevada, they can't win Georgia. That really thins the map out as far as how you can possibly get to 270. I'd be saying, well, I mean, who the hell else is going to do it? Here's the two conventions and what you're likely to see. At the Republican National Convention, there'll be a few conspicuously absent Republican figures that don't show up in protest of Donald Trump being the nominee. DeSantis will speak. He's certainly going to be up there. Ramaswamy will probably speak. Hell, Nikki Haley might give a speech. Who fucking knows? Although I don't know that she's going to be invited at all. And Donald Trump, in the end, will coast to the renomination, and everything will go fine. There will be some protests outside. There'll be some pink pussy hat wearers and, random people with pride flags and stuff like that. But I don't expect that in Milwaukee there'll be anything significant. I don't expect the town to burn down because the Republicans showed up. Meanwhile, the Democrats have their convention in Chicago. What's going to happen there? Joe Biden is going to look visibly haggard. He's going to look low energy. He'll mumble his way around, looking basically like Ronald Reagan in like 1995 or something like that. I think he survived into the mid-90s. I think he died in the early 2000s, if I remember correctly. But he'll be visibly demented, and it'll be a freak show. Leftists will be protesting. It'll be like the '68 convention. I expect there to be a very, very hefty police presence, by the way. They'll probably, last minute, they'll try to switch venues to prevent massive protests. Probably tens of thousands of people. And the revolution will not be televised, by the way. The legacy media will wagon circle a little bit more. It'll be kept low. They'll try to shove it under the rug and say, oh my God, this campaign has become a total freak show. But we got to stand by our man because clearly he's nominee now. By the way, look for the legacy media to quietly shelve the stories about Biden's cognitive capabilities the second that he's officially the nominee. Because they will circle wagons for him. Because Orange Man bad. Orange Man pig. Orange Man bad. Orange Man, oh my God, tax cuts. Terrible, terrible times. It'll cause a civil war or something. They will circle the wagons because they'll no longer have any reasonable choice. And it'll be very funny to see. Watch their reporting go from night to day, and for them to immediately do that the second that he's nominee. And he will be, unless he croaks before the convention or something, he'll be nominated. What would be interesting is he gets nominated, but then he has a spell. He goes funny and like literally wanders around the White House naked, making weird noises or something like that. Like he clearly, totally has lost it. And then they have to keep him in the White House. He's not even capable of campaigning. The emperor literally has no clothes because he keeps taking them off. He's pooping all over the floor. It might not have been Commander that was doing that. There could have been another guilty party. It's entirely possible. Just saying. I think that the convention in Milwaukee with the GOP will probably, it'll be almost boring. People are definitely going to pay more attention to the Democratic National Convention. Because with Trump, it's like, okay, I'm watching Trump speak. Ta-da, it's over. He's nominated. We already knew that was going to happen. Everything's hunky-dory. Everything's pretty straightforward. Look for Soros-paid antagonizers, by the way, to try to cause riots outside of that convention. But with the Democratic convention, and this is why more people, I think, will be paying attention to it when it happens, you could have fairly large-scale protests. You could have a Biden goes funny moment. People are paying attention to him. He's never gotten so much attention in his life because nobody's clear what zany shit he's going to say. It's almost exciting. People are, again, recommending drinking games with regards to Joe Biden's verbosity. That is not a good idea, and I officially disavow the concept. you'd be hammered at the very least. You could end up dying, so I don't really want my subscribers to die. Some people apparently do, because they're recommending the anyway drinking game. That's a terrible idea. It's horrible. I think the conventions are going to be like night and day. The problem is that it doesn't have a huge impact on the race, though, right? Because nobody's going to be paying attention to the Republican National Convention, other than to see Trump speak. So nobody really cares about anything else. It's the party of Trump at this point. I mean, the liberals aren't technically wrong when they proffer that as a suggestion. With the Democratic National, with their conference in Chicago, any crazy shit could happen. I mean, if they don't change the venue, they're going to face mass protests from the Palestine people. Imagine that you're walking by the Democratic National Convention. You're going to see more Gazan flags than you are to see U.S. flags. The Republican National Convention, it's pretty straightforward what the views are with regards to that issue. It's pretty homogenous within the GOP. With the Democrats, though, there's that far left cabal that they wined and dined and never gave anything to for years and years. And it's becoming a real big problem for them. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. I can't wait. I will be watching the proceedings at the Republican National Convention as well. But other than Trump speaking, it's likely to be just more on the mundane side. It's likely to be a little lower energy unless Trump brings the pyrotechnics up on stage or something like that. And Kid Rock shows up and Ted Nugent and they give an impromptu solo or something like that. You'll probably see some star-spangled bullshit there. That'll be fun. But at the Democratic National Convention, you're going to see probably a different kind of fireworks, mainly outside of the venue, carefully curated and covered up by the legacy media. That's about all. Peace out.